What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Your Real NBA video. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Chicago Bulls free agency signings. So as of right now, they signed 2 players. As of 3:30 Central Standard Time, they signed 2 players. And the first player was Thaddeus Young, and the second player was Tomas Satoranski. And I'm just basically going to be talking about how they can fit in with the Bulls, and if I think the Bulls did good with signing those players. And yeah, before the video starts, this is just off the top of my head. I don't have any I don't have any script or anything like that. So if I get some stuff wrong, my bad. And also, please subscribe and like the video if you like the video. And yeah, so let's just talk about the 2 players. So the first player the Bulls signed was Thaddeus Young. They signed Thaddeus Young to a 3-year, $41 million contract. Oh yeah, by the way, I have my computer right here, so if I look up, that means I'm just looking at my computer. So the Bulls signed Thaddeus Young to a 3-year, $41 million contract. So when I first saw Woj tweet this, my first initial reaction, I'm not gonna lie, was kind of bad. I was like, why did the Bulls sign him? We don't really need him, all that stuff. But after a couple hours of thinking about it, I think the Bulls signing Thaddeus Young to this deal wasn't that bad. I think it was a pretty good signing, to be honest, because the Bulls need a backup power forward, and Thaddeus Young could be that backup power forward for the Bulls. And also, he's 30 years old. He's getting up there in age. He won't fit the Bulls' timeline because, you know, the Bulls are the youngest team in the league, and Thaddeus Young is going on 30, so he's definitely not going to be in our future plans. But as for right now, if he could be a good player off the bench at the power forward position, he could put up some points. And he's also 30. He's played, I think he might have played 13 seasons in the NBA by now. And 13 seasons in the NBA, he's also been in the playoffs a bunch of times. So he'll be able to teach the Bulls young players, like, you know, the gist of the NBA pretty much. And he'll be able to give the young Bulls players, you know, how to fit in the NBA and how to be a good NBA player and all that stuff. So he'll just give some good advice to the young Bulls players. So that's good too. And also, like, $41 million contracts over 3 years. I mean, $41 million contract over 3 years. That's kind of a lot of money, I'm not gonna lie. $41 million. If I kind of wanted it to be a little less money, but, you know, it's whatever. There's not gonna be a lot of free agents that are gonna want to sign with the Bulls anyways. So I mean, you know, might as well give him. And also, it's only 3 years, so I mean, in 3 years, I think the Bulls are going to be contending again. So, I mean, 3 years, $41 million contract. I mean, it's not that bad. So, yeah, just all in all, he'll be a good player. Thaddeus Young will be a good player off the bench. And, you know, he'll just give a lot of advice to the young Bulls players. And also, he played with Levine in Minnesota. So, you know, there's some chemistry already with Levine and Thaddeus Young. And I think he'll just be an overall good fit. He's a pretty good player. He averaged like 15 points last year, I think, and he would just be a good addition. And so he'll be off the bench behind Lauri Markkanen. Also, when I first saw the tweet of Woj saying that the Bulls signed Thaddeus Young, another reason why I initially thought it was bad was because I thought the Bulls were going to start him. Because last year, for some reason, I thought he was starting for the Pacers last year, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't, if I remember correctly. I don't know, but from what I've been seeing on Twitter, the Bulls are not going to start him. So, I mean, yeah, that's pretty good. Because obviously, I don't want him to start over Wendell Carter or Lauri Markkanen. So, I mean, just his position off the bench is the best position that he will be in for the Bulls. Because, like, if he starts, then he'll be taking minutes away from Lauri and Wendell. And, yeah, so just as a backup power forward, I can see him being a pretty good player for the Bulls. And let's get into this. Let's get into the second player the Bulls signed. It was Tomas Satoranski. They signed him earlier today. I woke up and I saw a bunch of people talking about it. The Bulls signed. Okay, so Woj tweeted out saying Chicago has reached an agreement to sign and trade with Washington for guard Tomas Satoranski. And then another tweet by Casey Johnson said the Bulls are sending a 2020 second-round pick and the rights to swap a future second-round pick in the Satoranski deal. So basically, all the Bulls gave up for Satoranski was second round picks, which is, I mean, that's pretty good. And also Satoranski, he's 27 years old. He's also getting up there in age, but like, you know, he's a pretty good player. He has a decent 3-point shot, and he has decent athleticism. I remember one game like 2 years ago against the Bulls, he like dunked all over somebody. I forgot, but I remember he had a nasty dunk against the Bulls. So that's all I could think about when I think of Tomas Satoranski on the Bulls. But yeah, basically they signed him to a 3-year deal, $30 million. That's also a lot of money, but like I said, the Bulls are probably not gonna get any big name free agents anytime soon, so it's whatever. And also, all we gave up was second round pick. When I first saw, because when Woj tweeted it out, I first thought that the Bulls were gonna sign and trade like Chris Dunn or Denzel Valentine or somebody like that. So initially, I thought the Bulls like traded like, you know, some players like Chris Dunn or Denzel Valentine, but in reality, they only traded second round picks. So I'm kind of happy with this deal because Satoranski, he's a decently good player. Also, he could play 3 different positions. He's 6'5". Wait, hold on, let me check. He's 6'5", I think. He is. I don't know actually. It doesn't say on here. But Satoranski. Wait, hold on, let me just search it up. Satoranski. So basically, Satoranski will be a good position. He'll be a good player for the Bulls. Oh, he's 6'7". So Satoranski could play He's 6'7". He could play the point guard position. He could play the shooting guard position, and he could play the small forward position. So basically, think about it this way: if Chris Dunn and Kobe White and all the point guards for the Bulls are doing bad or just having shooting slumps, then Tomas Satoranski can go in and just, you know, maybe just, I don't know, just be good. So Tomas Satoranski could play the point guard position if the Bulls point guards are like not doing that well, or he could play the shooting guard position if the Bulls need him to play the shooting guard position, or if the Bulls want him to play the small forward position, he could also play that. So he's a very versatile player when it comes to like what position he could play. So to be honest, I think it's a good signing by the Bulls. All they gave away was second round picks, and I mean, I know you can still get like good players with second round picks, but I mean, initially I thought it was players that they traded away. So I'm happy, to be honest, that it's only second round picks. So yeah, all in all, I'm pretty happy with the Bulls' 2 signings as of right now, and hopefully the Bulls can sign some other good players. But as of right now, I think the Bulls are a playoff team, and you know, with Thaddeus Young and Satoranski, those are 2 pretty good additions, and yeah, I think the Bulls are gonna make the playoffs next year. So yeah, that's gonna be all for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share, and I'll see you next time.